Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial on IT.tutorials. I am Josef Botnar. I'm continuing the series of tutorials regard to this project school registration system. This project is done using Visual C# and Microsoft SQL Server 2019. This tutorial has the goal to make the code behind this form, also to make the code behind this button register and reset. And in the following tutorials I'm going to do the code behind this button update, delete, and the code which will make the data typed in these text boxes to appear on this data grid view. But today, as I told you, I want to make the code which will validate the data typed into these text boxes, and also the code behind this register button. When the user will click on this button, the code will check if the data typed in these text boxes are validated, are valid, and if these are valid, the user will receive a message that the data was successfully validated. If not, the user will receive other messages, depends on which type of data was not validated. If, for example, this text box which is for a username is not filled in, the user does not type in nothing, he will receive a message that he should enter the name of the user in order to be able to go further. Yeah, and the code behind this button reset will clear the data from all these text boxes. So let's start. First, click with the right of your mouse, select the view code. This will take you behind the form inside this file register.cs, where you will write your code regard to this form register user. Yeah, I have to write plenty of code in here, so please follow me, and when I will be finished with this, I will give you all the explanations regard to this code. So let's start. Here you go. I finished this code. As you have seen, I rebuilt the code, so this was debugged successfully, as you can see here down in this output window. Yeah. So let's see what I have done here. So first of all, I created this method named is user controls valid, which will validate the user controls data. The user controls data entered in these text boxes. Yeah. All right. After the user will press this button, register. Actually, I write here this if conditional structure. Inside the parentheses is used this is user controls valid method, which will validate the data entered by user. If the data entered by user is validated by this method, the app will execute this code line and will display this message: the data entered was successfully validated. Yeah. If the data is not validated, actually the compiler will go inside this method is user controls valid, and we'll check which data was not validated. First, I use this if conditional structure to check the data entered by user in this text box. If the user doesn't enter anything, yeah, so this is the meaning of this test. Yeah. If the user does not enter anything in this text box, he will receive this message: please enter the username. Yeah. And the cursor will be focused on this text box if the user doesn't enter anything in this box, namely username. Yeah. And the application will be stopped. The execution will be stopped because I'm using this return false, and the user is not able to go further. Yeah, because the execution of this application will stop to this line 33 using this return false, and the user is not allowed to go further. He will be asked to enter the username. Yeah. The same thing I have done for the next text boxes, for the password, confirm password, position, about the same code as you can see here. Yeah, the same test inside the if conditional structure. Yeah, for password, for confirm password, and for validating the position. All right. Here, where I write the validation of the password, the code is a bit different because the password must be a minimum of 8 characters long. The password must contain at least one uppercase letter and one lowercase letter and one numeric digit. All right. So if the user will enter a password in this text box which belongs to this password, yeah, actually, even if the password doesn't respect all this requirement, just because the user entered the password inside this text box, the compiler will pass this block of codes, yeah, and we'll go inside the else part, and here actually is going to be checked the length of the password, the uppercase using this method, the lowercase using this method, and the numeric checking using this method. All right, if one of these tests is fulfilled, that means the password is not correct. If the length of the password is less than 8, we have this test here. That means you will receive this message, please enter a valid password, and you have some hints here how the password should be typed. Yeah, all right. And these methods will check the uppercase. If you entered at least one uppercase, at least one lowercase, and at least one numeric digit. Yeah, because I used this test here, less than 1. Yeah, if you didn't enter at least one uppercase or lowercase or numeric digit, you will receive also this message here. Yeah, all right, and the cursor will be focused on this text box password, meaning you have to retype the password respecting these requirements. Yeah, what it was displayed. Yeah, all right, so let's go to these methods. Yeah, let's go and click on go to definition, and we have here the methods. For let's take the first one. This method is checking actually the number of the digits. Yeah, and here using this for each, this variable number of digits will store the number of the digits found inside this if conditional structure, because I'm using this method is number, which will check the numbers contained by this ch character variable. Yeah, and this for each will go through the password entered by user, and the method will return the number of the digits found. And if at least one number digit is returned by this method, that means the password will be validated. If the number of digits is less than 1, the password will not be validated. And this is the same for the next methods. For the lowercase, it works the same. Yeah, I used here this method is lower to check the lowercase contained in password. Actually, we'll check this variable ch. Yeah, using this for each. Yeah, this variable will take over from this string password each character, and here this method will check if this variable contains lowercase letters, and this variable will increment by 1 each lowercase found, and finally this line of code will return the number of lowercase found by this method. If there is found at least one lowercase letter, the password will be validated. If not, the password will not be validated. The same works this method uppercase checking. Yeah, and here I wrote this method reset controls, which will reset all these controls. I mean, all these text boxes will be cleared after I press this button reset. All right, okay, let's go further. And here, as I told you, after the user will press this button register, the compiler will come inside this method, which is linked to this button register, and using this if structure conditional structure and the method inside the parentheses of if, actually the compiler will go inside this method is user controls valid, will check all the requirements for the data entered by user in these text boxes, and if this method will validate the data entered by user in those controls, you will receive this message: the data entered was successfully validated. If not, actually you will receive the messages from this method: is user controls valid, depends on which data was not validated. Yeah, so let's simulate a bit and let's release this application and let's see how it works. Click on admin. I don't like because just I noticed the cursor is focused when I release this form on this text box position, which is not good. So let's go back. Let's select all this form, go on view and select tab order and go here, click on these text boxes here. 0.0.1 is good, so that means this will be the first focused, this is the second, this is the third, and this one will be the fourth. Yeah, now actually when I release this form, the cursor will be focused on the first text box, namely this username. Yeah, let's save, let's go back on view and let's click on tab order. Let's release now this again, click on admin, and as you can see now the cursor is focused on the first text box, namely user name. So let's write my name, Josef Botnar. Alright, let's write a password. So I'm gonna to write PASS. So let's write password. Let's see if we have here how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 at least, but we don't have at least 1 digit and at least 1 uppercase letter. So obviously this password should not be validated if the method, if the code works properly. Click on register and here you go, the code works properly. We have received this message: please enter a valid password. So this password is not valid, and here you have the hints. The password must contain at least 1 uppercase and 1 lowercase and 1 numeric digit. Alright, so now you should retype this. I'm going to use here for P a uppercase letter, and I'm going to write here like 0, 1. Yeah, and let's click again, and here you go. Actually this password is valid now because we didn't receive that message, but we have received another one because we didn't enter anything in this text box which is related to this confirm password. Please confirm the password. So we have to confirm the password. So let's confirm the password and let's click on this button again. We receive again another message. Why? Because these two doesn't match. The password do not match. Please type again. So we have to type again here because this password where is this confirmed password doesn't match. It's obviously so here you go. So far so good, so the code works perfectly so far. Now actually these two passwords are matched, so let's click again on the register button. Yeah, here you go. Actually this password was validated, but because we didn't enter anything in this text box related to position, we have to enter something because we received this message: press enter the position. So I'm going to write here like a manager. Yeah, alright, then click on register, and here you go. Now all these data are validated. We received this message: the data entered was successfully validated. Yeah, so the code works perfect. The code is good, works properly, no problem at all. So because I respected all those requirements requested by the code, these data typed by me inside those text boxes are validated by the code. Yeah, actually, in next video tutorials, this code inside the register button will be changed. But first, let me to press this button reset. Oops, so this doesn't work. Actually, after I press this button, all these text boxes should be clear. So let's see what is the matter. So let's go reset, and here you go. The problem is the event. So let's go here. Let's check here. Okay, so got this one, reset user. So let's use this one. Double click, and here you go. Yeah, all right. Now it should work. Let's save, and let's rebuild this. All right, let's release again. Admin. Let's type all the data needed in here. Register. The data entered was successfully validated. Okay, and reset. Okay, now it works. Yeah. All right. So actually, all this data. What I wanted to tell you that in next video tutorial, I'm going to change this code in here behind this button register. Yeah. I use this message, this method show just to test the validation of the data entered by user. But actually here I'm going to write in the following video tutorials a different code, because I want after the user press this button register, all the data entered in those text boxes to be shown here on this data grid view, and all the data to be stored in the table which is placed in a SQL server. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching this video tutorial. See you next time. Bye bye.